This is Guantanamo Bay, a peaceful, scenic destination. I'm joking, it's absolutely horrific and it's probably where Evangelos Marinakis is gonna put me after this video today. But at the very least, I'll probably see Ange Postecoglou in there.
Hello.
As after just 39 days in charge, the big Aussie bag of sensual one-liners has been sacked by Nottingham Forest. It is yet another dramatic twist in the tale of a football club that has descended into absolute chaos recently. And it really does beg the question, what the hell is going on at Nottingham Forest right now? Ladies and gentlemen, after sacking everybody under the sun, Mr. Marinakis has decided the man to take him back to European football is Sean Dyche. Flipping Jesus Christ, these days are rap. I know Forest are sponsored by Bailey's, right? But it doesn't mean that your board of directors actually have to drink the alcohol during every meeting that they have. To be fair, I think Ange Postecoglou is going to need a pretty stiff drink after barely lasting over a month as Nottingham Forest manager. The poor man still has Rightmove open as a tab on his laptop. Poor man, yo, I'm so excited. I'm gonna put the sofa over there. I'm gonna put the barbecue on that side. I'm gonna put my scripts for my interviews on the floor and... Yo, is this Ange, yeah? Yes, a wrap, you're done. Yeah, you're finished. We're sacking you immediately. I never even rated you. New Zealand's better, yeah? Your trim shit, your beard shit. To be fair to him, he's still a good sport. You know, he got a nice picture with a girl who spotted him as he was leaving the training ground for the final time. And honestly, I'm not surprised he still looked like he was happy. Bro's got like a £10 million payout for 39 days worth of work. That's the best compensation per capita anyone's ever received from the city of Nottingham. Hiring Ange Postecoglou and then sacking him for about £47 million 39 days later, bad deal. Free crate of 8 sensational beers, good deal. Now imagine, you're a Manchester United fan, you're sitting watching your club play. What do you need? You need Ruben Amorim out and probably some light counselling. No, you need my good friends at Beer 52 who are giving viewers of this channel a exclusive offer of 8 never before tested and limited edition beers all for you to try. Bumbuckler. Right, what have we got in here? We've got flipping, look at this, Northern Monk. That's what they call me back up in Nottingham. Don't watch the fact that it's 1:30 PM. You can drink this anytime, man. Let's have a little taste test, shall we? That's actually really nice. I don't usually drink that much beer, to be honest with you. But that's actually class. We've got some snacks in here as well, bro. Plenty of snacks, and I'm not talking about JCC, am I right? Yeah, lots of stuff in here. These are good as well, man. I love a little bit of habanero, chili, or paprika. I'm a spicy boy. There's a little IPA in here that's like 7.5%. Or if you really want to go crazy, there's more of like, it's called a deep haze one, which is 8%. That's for the brave ones of you out there. But as I mentioned, this is really cool. 8 free beers. Get some snacks and a little magazine as well. But if that's still not enough, you've still got the flexibility to pause or cancel a subscription at any time. And what's even better, as I mentioned, is the fact that it's free. All you got to do is cover the postage, which is £5.95 if you go down into the description and click the link. It's www.beer52.com/FNG. Go down there, all the pinned comment, and claim your free and exclusive pack of 8 beers and some snacks as well. And whilst he might be pretty happy with the financial element of this, though, the way in which this happened is so crazy. The sacking coming after a 3-0 defeat to, surprise, a 10-man Chelsea. They got peppered, it was an easy victory, and just 20 minutes after the full-time whistle, the announcement was made that Ange Postecoglou was going to be losing his job by Nottingham Forest's official Twitter page. 20 minutes, fam! Evangelos literally logged onto that Twitter account himself, and he said, there you go, have that.
Yes.
It's crazy. There's no way Ange found out at the same time as the social media manager. So that means Ange lost his job officially probably less than 10 minutes after the game ended. He was filling out the P45 details from the home end. My brother in Christ, Ange was still in the dressing room. He was mid-team talk. Let's be honest, that's probably not even when it happened. Marinakis and Ange probably had a full bare-knuckle fist fight about 47 seconds after full time in the tunnel. Ange Postecoglou said he always wins things in his second season. Not here. He doesn't.
Stupid. I'm not gonna let you get the chance.
Marinakis here had completely lost the plot. He left after 60 minutes. His seat was empty, which I think was pretty much a sign that he'd, again, gone to just do the paperwork instead of watching the rest of this one. And I mean, in fairness, whilst the way in which this happened is absolutely crazy, the fact that it did happen, I guess, isn't that surprising. To be fair to Marinakis, Ange's form as Nottingham Forest manager looked like a crime scene with the amount of red that was on it, which eventually led to Ange's assassination in this particular predicament. appointment. Getting sacked without even one win, though, is absolutely crazy to put on your CV. And of course, in the words of Evangelos Marinakis,
we always win.
Always is doing a lot of heavy lifting there, Evangelos. Can I call you Evan? Are we on that sort of level? I'll tell you who can't call him Evan, the players, because these lot came out and did press conferences straight after the game, and they're still referencing him like he's a dictator in North Korea. Are these lot actually, like, contractually not allowed to identify him by first name or what? Elliot Anderson will be looking scared for his life after being told he'll have his mum, his nan, and his great auntie twice removed, put into Guantanamo Bay if he calls out the ownership. Morgan Gibbs White's only just got his parents back from a hostage situation in Yemen after his attempted escape act over the summer.
Thank you to Mr. Marinakis for believing in me.
Maybe Ange Postecoglou should have put a release clause into his contract so that there was no actual way for him to leave the football club. Then again, he's a big Football Manager fan and he's got himself sacked just before the game comes out. I know there's something going on there, I just can't prove it right now. To be honest, it really begs the question, like, I know, look, Ange's form was bad, yeah, it was piss poor, but it really does beg the question, yeah. Why the fuck did you hire him in the first place? Giving Ange Postecoglou the most defensive back line or the deepest defensive line in the Premier League. This close to watching badminton instead, lads, because I swear down, people making decisions in this sport are pissing me off at the moment. What the hell did you expect from that combination? Milenkovic doesn't know what to do after stepping up to the halfway line and seeing a ball lofted in behind.
What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to chase after them?
You had something, like, actually decent in Nuno Espirito Santo. After guaranteeing Europa League football with the help of Crystal Palace's Gmail inbox, Nuno was a very well-liked man in the East Midlands. He'd returned Nottingham Forest back to at least somewhat of a vision of the European football they'd been able to bring to the city of Nottingham, and all those successful nights that they had in those European competitions. Nah, never mind, bro. This Greek youth at the top of the football club has got him out of there because he's not on his Christmas card list. It's not necessarily been fully explained as to what went on between Marinakis and Nuno Espirito Santo, but it's clear that they didn't get along. I assume Nuno called him by his government first name at some point during his tenure. Either way, as soon as things even started to look like they could fall apart at the start of this season, which by the way was pretty predictable given the way things kind of fell apart at the end of last season, Nuno was out of the door, and that decision always felt very strange to me. Very predictable, we all knew it was going to happen, but it just didn't make sense. Like, Nottingham Forest didn't even really bottle last season. They just returned to what they should have been doing in the first place. We look at Nottingham Forest's squad, there's some really good footballers in there. Elliot Anderson is a baller in central midfield. Chris Wood was banging in goals. Morgan Gibbs White is absolutely class, like, could genuinely start for most teams in the Prem, and they had a really solid centre-back partnership in the likes of Milenkovic and Murillo, with some honourable mentions like Ola Aina. But this isn't a team that should be qualifying for the Champions League. This isn't a team that should be finishing second or third in the league, and that showed when they kind of collapsed at the end of the season. It was pretty bad, and if you're Evangelos Marinakis, it's a shame, because I think if they'd ended up in the Champions League, they could have attracted different names altogether going into this season. But it is what it is. Getting Europa League football was still a miracle in its own right. The seeds, though, had already been sowed when Evangelos Marinakis himself stormed onto the pitch after Nottingham Forest's draw with Leicester, a result that basically ended their chances of getting into the Champions League in the first place, armed with nothing but a white t-shirt and an iPhone that was made in 2009. Who am I kidding? This guy probably had a Desert Eagle in his back pocket or something. We've got leaked audio of the incident here.
There is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression.
And with that, the manager who'd given them European football was out of the door, starting a revolving door of managerial appointments, seemingly, that's now led to Sean Dyche in charge, appointed and officially announced as Nottingham Forest manager this week. Look, listen, I love Sean Dyche being back in the Premier League as much as the next guy, so I can't make any complaints, alright? But going from attempting to get into Champions League football to having Sean Dyche as your manager within 4 months is absolutely crazy. This man is not a European guiding manager. This is not a guy who's gonna play sexy penetration football, okay? He's not gonna get you to the Champions League. He's gonna be a survivalist. You're gonna get mid-table every season. Then again, he did take Burnley to a European tour one time, so who am I to judge? Either way, I know he's gonna be absolutely fuming when he's not allowed to take his side to Hooters round the side of the stadium at half-time every match. Furthermore, to be honest with you, Sean Dyche's anti-woke nonsense versus Mr. Marinakis' constant nonsense is gonna be a battle for the ages here. Sean officially the new manager of Nottingham Forest then, and I assume with that he has about 3 weeks to prove that he is in fact the right man for the job before being taken walking out the back of Nottingham train station and being hit by 11 consecutive C4s, or sat on by Evangelos Marinakis, is probably do about the same damage. It means he's got to make this place like home immediately. Welcome to Nottingham Forest, Dwight McNeil. I know Chris Wood is going to be gassed to see this man on the training ground straight away. He's probably jumping into his arms this very second, having like an emotional, romantic moment. Though for the rest of the players, this is going to be a little bit of a difficult one to understand. I mean, poor Nikola Milenkovic, for example, trying to learn a third defensive system in the space of just 5 weeks. What is he supposed to do? It makes it very clear that Nottingham Forest, as a whole, when it comes to managerial appointments, don't actually have a single fucking clue how they want to play. Because the man who preceded him, being Ange Postecoglou, played a very different style of football. It's like there's not a single cohesive thought going on in Nottingham Forest, like, as a football club at all. Now, Evangelos Marinakis has some decent brownie points from Nottingham Forest fans, especially. If you talk to Forest fans, they understand what's going on, but kind of just let it slide. Because at the end of the day, this is the owner that saved them from the purgatory of the Championship and actually brought them into the Premier League for the first time since the start of the 2000s, end of the 1990s. For those that don't know, Nottingham Forest were like almost a meme in the sense that they're kind of like the Bristol City or Preston of today that have been in the Championship for fucking God knows how long without ever getting relegated. They did get relegated once. They were in like League One in like 2005 or something off the top of my head. But like since that very day, right, they spent about 20 years literally in the Championship. Do you understand how hard that is to do? The Championship is fucking mental, right? You could just accidentally get promoted out of it or accidentally get relegated out of it. So to stay there for 20 years is actually an incredible feat. It's actually very impressive. Levels of stability, like a couple playoffs here and there, but generally speaking, mid-table the whole time. Evangelos Marinakis helped them escape from that, you know? So Nottingham Forest fans ultimately have a lot of love for him, and they have a reason to, because he brought them joy. He's brought them now a European run. It's one of those situations where it's like, even if things go to shit, the memories that they've got are better than what they had for the last 20 years. Or for younger fans, the best memories they've had of their entire lives supporting a football club. But the way in which he goes about running a football club is absolutely crazy. I've talked about Marinakis in much more detail in a previous video about his dodgy dealings and a shady history that's longer than his receipts list on Uber Eats, which is bold of me to say because I have the diet of a 9-year-old. But there is absolutely no hiding from the fact that he is absolutely fucked to this one. You can't deny having a manager in charge who got you European football, and off the top of my head, I'm going to guess he was in charge for about 4 Premier League games, replacing him with a guy who absolutely is categorically the complete opposite end of the scale in terms of tactical football. For him to predictably not do very well and then last for 39 days, get a exorbitant probably payout, and then replace him with another guy that's completely on the opposite end of the tactical scale from the guy you just sacked is awful running of a football club. That is shocking, especially when we know Marinakis does call the shots. It is a dictatorship over there. This guy is in charge of everything. Whatever he says goes. The players call him Mr. Marinakis and look like they're being held at gunpoint during interviews.
Thank you to Mr. Marinakis.
They've got a crazy situation going on over there at Nottingham Forest, unlike a lot of other football clubs in this country, let alone in the Premier League. He has a stranglehold over the entire football club, therefore it is absolutely on him, the fact that this has gone to shit. And if I'm honest, I don't see Sean Dyche being the guy that returns them back to European football. It's never going to be as good again under Sean Dyche. He'll provide stability. They'll probably finish 13th in the league, like every season from this point onwards, if he can stop the rot, and he should be able to. Forest have got a decent enough side. They've got a team of players that are much better than what Ange Postecoglou was showing them, or showing them to be. But overall, this is an absolute disaster, and it's on Evangelos Marinakis. I'm sorry. I know that's probably going to get me sent to the mafia of Athens, and I'm going to have my fingernails cut off by some random Greek youth from Crete. It had to be said, and if you don't ever see me again, then you know what happened. This, alongside the Morgan Gibbs-White situation, all of the drama with the Europa League at the start of the campaign, and obviously a managerial list that has been absolutely extensive even before Marinakis was able to guide, Nottingham Forest to the Premier League, and it's a complete shit show. Forest fans will argue that it worked. As I mentioned, they had a load of managers even when they were in the Championship. They were constantly, recycling through different gaffers all the time, and it did get them to the Premier League eventually. But certainly in the short term, this is absolutely absolutely not worked at all and probably cost them a lot of money. Either way, what do you make of the Nottingham Forest situation right now? Because for what it's worth, they're providing great entertainment. I've got to say that. I don't have a problem with Forest, by the way. I got accused of being like a bit of a hater of Nottingham Forest. I don't give a fuck, mate. I grew up in Nottingham. I've got a lot of friends who are Nottingham Forest fans, sorry. I don't care. Like, honestly, keep providing entertainment. It's content for me. It's content for everyone else. I just think your owner's fucking things up. I think you had a moment there where you could have actually gone, right, we've got a bit of stability. We've got a manager that's liked. We've got things that aren't going great at the moment, but, you know, it's just probably the momentum of last season. You could have just stuck with the guy there, and you fucked it immeasurably. Well, you haven't, but Marinakis has. Either way, drop your thoughts down in the comment section whether you're a Forest fan or not. Crystal Palace fans, I've got a good idea of how you guys are going to be feeling on this situation. But if you have enjoyed this video, feel free to slap a like on it and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Once again, when I hit 800,000 subscribers, I'm getting a tattoo of Liverpool on my knee. So make sure to do that to provide me even more pain. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.